how's it going, everybody? Dust on the Moon here. Going to do a quick power ranking after week two's matchup. Let's just look at the standing real quick. Three teams are 2-0. Three teams are 0-2. Everybody else is 1-1. I think the tiers at the top is obviously the championship contending teams. I would can't really argue with the results. I think I want to put the top tier. I want to put two teams: Sky Gary and Gorky. Brooklyn Measles Outbreak. So Sky Gary, I think, is over Gorky. He's the clear number one. Although last week he had a really close matchup versus YP. Be more Team Baltimore. Surprisingly, he lost he lost blocks. So he barely won by one turnover, I believe. But just look at this team. A lot of rebound, a lot of assists, a lot of steals, a lot of blocks. Field goal is nice. Even though he is punting like three categories, having Joker on your team definitely helps. He does have some, like, the weakness on this about this team is like I rather prefer punting other categories, because that means you have to win steals and blocks every week. Those are very high variance stats, which I don't like. Your best steals guy, Drew Holiday, could average, let's say, 0.5 steals, like only got you 2 steals that week, which is very, very possible. Like your best steals guy just stopped performing, and also blocks is also very high variance. So if you lose one category, like, your error of margin is pretty high. Pretty low, versus a team that is punting other categories. But still, I think this team, by far looked the strongest out of everybody. And then Horky's team, Brooklyn Measles Outbreak. The reason I don't put Horky's team as high is because I think his scoring is not that high. But somehow he picked up 2 wins. Can't really argue with that. Jaylen Brown is averaging 28 points, so he's gonna cool down for sure, shooting 60%. So he's gonna cool down. So really, Horky, the high scoring guys for Horky really is 2 guys, Trae Young and Paul George. And nobody else is gonna average 20 points. He has a lot of guys averaging 17 and 18, but you can't get guys averaging, let's say, 14 points on the waiver wire. And then those guys play 4 games versus your guy playing 3 games, and they're gonna give you more points. So I like Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. I don't think those guys are average 20 points. The guys on Toronto Raptors, it's a pretty well-rounded team. Like, everybody scores a little. Those guys you mainly get for assists and steals. So I'm not too high on Horky's team, because he is punting 4 categories. So anybody that's has more scoring than Horky, it's pretty much it will be tough for Horky to win, basically. And then he has to win all the other categories, even though he's pretty strong in all of them. But I still put Horky in the top tier. You see, like, the top 2 teams, like, their weaknesses are pretty obvious, but the strong categories are strong. And let's see, the next tier I would put Will's team, Falcone, and I'd probably put my team as well. Dr. Walkby's team. Oh wow! I think all these teams are on the same tier, actually. YP's team's not in this tier, so, like, it's Will, Kawhi, Jishal's team, Triple Double Nose, Leah's team, Dream Shaker, Leader's team, Dr. Walkby. I think we all kind of got stuck in the same tier. Even King Sheep, I think King Sheep's team is very strong. Big efficiency at the highest level. So let's just talk about each team. Will's team last week picked up another win versus Team Patel. I think Vignicius' team is probably him and Daniel's team. Those 2 teams, I think, at the bottom tier at the moment. So I guess for Will to pick up this win doesn't really mean too much. but Will's roster is pretty strong. Like the only there's some guys that I don't like. Like I think Zubac is because the guy is playing such low minutes. Obviously, you can't stream it. And Dylan Wright, it's tough to hold this guy playing 25 minutes while don't really give you anything, no defensive stats. And Lou Will, so Will's got like 4 guys that I don't like, but everybody else I like. And he's pounding free throw, so he's kind of strong in a lot of the other categories. Having Westbrook definitely helps if you're pounding free throw. Even though he's killing your field goal, but he'll be better than this. He's just playing under a new team, just trying to adjust to the whole system and stuff. So he'll be better than this. And LeBron is obviously you can see him just put up 25, 8, in his sleep. And Kawhi Leonard's laugh is also under this tier, but his cat is out, so if he can pick up some wins, he did win week 1, but if he can pick up some wins while Cat is out, that would be great. But once Cat comes back, he's a uber efficient team because his main guy is an efficient specialist. Cat, Kawhi Leonard, DeMar DeRozan is also like a pretty high field goal guard, so his efficiency is off the chart. And John Morant is also, his free throw may not be that high, but his field goal as a guard is elite. And he has decent points, and having Miles Turner on his team also helps, averaging like almost two steals and 4 blocks. But if you have Miles Turner on your team, you can win blocks versus any team pretty much. So I will put him in this tier for now. The Cat is out for a few weeks. I don't like. So for now, he's not on the second tier, but fully healthy. So yeah, I'll put him on 3rd tier for now. Once Cat comes back, he's tier 2. Lian's team, triple-double, no assists, is also it's another team that a pretty big man that's good at free throw, and guard, Beal this year free throw is elite. And he's got Keldon Johnson, very scary. His team is his points is like, I think I went over this a couple times. Like he's pretty well rounded. I think his weakness is probably not enough defensive stats. Not having enough defensive specialists. Like CJ McCollum is gonna fall off these steal numbers. So like when I look at this, I guess Eric Bledsoe is a defensive stats specialist, but everybody else is he has his blocks is also met. So I think this team's weakness, he's got a lot of threes, but it's just having those low defensive stats. So if he plays a team that's his blocks is pretty nice. His rebound is also decent, but just defensive stats are somewhat lacking. And then leaders team also his Michael Porter Jr. is gonna be out, and his Lamar Aldridge is looking like a bust at this moment. He'll be better. Leaders team, Wiggins has been playing pretty well lately, but does Leader need his rebound and but does Leader prefer Jared Allen's rebound and blocks? Yeah, I think Leader's team is actually somewhat strong. Like not a lot of steals. De'Aaron Fox, Mika Bridges, decent steals and blocks. A lot of blocks, to be honest. Maybe having Cruz Boucher helped, averaging 2.2, but this guy is not getting consistent minutes. Devin Booker has been underwhelming. Picking Jason Tatum and Devin Booker first and second hasn't been they haven't been living up to their draft position. Even though Tatum is number 2 at the end of the day. Devin Booker, his assist numbers this year is just not there. So Leader, still good assist. You got Chris Middleton average 6.3. Uh, Rebound. I think leaders probably the biggest weaknesses are his assist and rebound. He doesn't have that high volume guy. Steals and blocks are okay. Kind of well rounded, but efficiency wise not too great as well. Okay, we'll just see. It's hard to, still kind of tough to tell at the moment because leaders got a lot of guys that I just don't know like how well they're gonna play. I don't know if Mika Bridges can keep up what he's been doing. I don't know. Just a lot of question mark. I don't know if Chris Boucher gonna get those minutes. Lou Dort, James Wiseman, what's he gonna be like going forward? And obviously, Michael Porter Jr. is breaking out. Just don't know if he can sustain it. And Jared Allen, how many minutes is he gonna get every night in and night out? And Dr. Walkby, yeah, let's talk about Dr. Walkby's team. After the Harden trade, I think his team is pretty strong, and he dropped Devontae Graham, so he's punting assists basically, which is not bad for his team. His scoring is decent. Got Joel Embiid, Zach LaVine, and everybody scores a little bit. His rebound is scary. His blocks scary. His steals scary. His threes is okay. So he's really strong in defensive stats and rebounding. So when you don't want to play his team, he's somewhat weak in efficiency. But when he plays like I don't know I think play like Apple, a big man. Apple because he's a big man team with like with very strong defensive stats. So I think Walkby can give a run for his money. Because Andre Drummond is a beast defensively. Ayton, he's got a lot of big men that can block shots. And the Melo boy is developing. So I'll also put him in this tier. And I think my team and King Sheep's team is also in this tier. Nate and Vigneish's team is the last tier. I'll talk about my team real quickly. It's just a guard team, basically, and I think when I play Quirky, it will be epic. I think I'll beat him. No worries there. But when I play a lot of other teams, I'm gonna struggle because I'm basically Quirky, but my other stats are not as strong as Quirky, other than points. Let's look at King Sheep's team. I do have Harden and Curry, so if they pop off, I probably I could win threes and assist. Sheep's team is like uber efficient. Big man team with Kyrie as its own like all his guard is super efficient. Kyrie Irving, Goran Dragic, Victor Oladipo is not supposed to be this efficient, but hey, he's having a great year. And Christian Wood is gonna be scary. Sheep's problem is, I guess so far his steals has been somewhat lacking. But Miles Turner, he doesn't have Miles Turner in this league. Sorry. But his blocks, he's got a bunch of big men. Obviously, Nurkic has been. Pick Nurkic third probably, yeah. Nurkic has not been playing up to his standard. He'll be better than this, but I doubt he will. Put up the stats that everybody is expecting him to put up. Kyrie and AD obviously super strong. First two picks and picking Christian Wood late at 52nd. Christian Wood is going to be a top 20 player this year. I'm pretty confident to say that if he's healthy. You guys can see like just a few games on Rockets. Like this guy is good. This guy is good at basketball. He also has Thomas Bryant, who's a big field goal anchor. Like I don't think anybody in this league is. So like when I think like teams like Sky Gary play Sheep's team, he's gonna struggle because Sheep's big man stats are there, right? Yeah. So I think also Sheep is in this category. And then the last tier is Nate's team and Vigneish's team. Daniel's team. Keep saying because Nate Robinson. Yeah, Nate Robinson knockout. Daniel's team is Still holding RJ Barrett, still holding him strong. His free throw is actually close to 80%. That's not bad. But he's just shitting on your field goal week in and out. And he's got Lonzo Ball shitting on your field goal as well. Porzingis should be coming back soon. But Daniel, you gotta move Porzingis into your IR. So you got an extra spot. But picking Jamal Murray second round is gonna be tough. Not much to talk about. It's just the really guys that I like on his team is Lonzo Ball, Giannis, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jeremy Grant actually has been playing well, surprisingly, and Jamal Murray. Everybody else feel like is not really good, to say. That's how I'm gonna put it. And let's look at Vinicius' team. It's got KD leading the way. I guess because Jimmy has been hurt so much, if you're missing a second round pick, your team is probably gonna struggle. Chris Paul has been a little bit underwhelming, giving you those assist numbers and good free throw, but everything else hasn't. Is not there yet. It will come though. Rudy Gobert has had a couple of strong games. Whiteside at this point is probably a job averaging 12 minutes. Can't really hold this guy. It's an empty roster spot. And Dennis Schroeder, just a lot of teams that I don't like. So at this moment, I think it's, I don't know, gotta make some tough decisions, drop some players and pick up guys on the waiver wire, because I think week in and week out, a lot of guys are producing on waiver wires. You've just gotta find the guys that fit your team. All right, that's it, guys. I'll do another power ranking next week.